A majority of voters say they feel confident about the nation's economy. Our CBS News exit poll found about 2/3 of voters think the economy is excellent or good. That's the highest number in a midterm election since 1998. But 49% also said their family's financial position is about the same as it was 2 years ago. Ariel Investments president and CBS News financial contributor Mellody Hobson is here to explain that to us. Mellody, what do you make of that discrepancy?
Well, I think part of the issue is the fact that wages have been stagnant mostly. They are now going up. We're seeing it in a brisk pace. And so people are now seeing bigger paychecks. I think the other thing was the tax cut that was so big at the time largely affected corporate America as opposed to individuals. So people did not see that money in their paychecks
Didn't pass
or in their
the savings on
pocketbooks.
to them.
Correct.
What do you think the market's reaction will be to divided government that we now have?
So this is interesting. I actually just went back to history to look at this. I looked at midterm elections since the late 1940s. There have been 18 of them. 1 year after every single midterm, the stock market was up. Every single one. Wow. No, we have that saying in the mutual fund industry, past performance is not a guarantee of future results, but that is the data. And interestingly, the better performing periods are periods where the houses were split in terms of leadership.
So what do you expect when the markets open this morning coming up?
Well, we probably will see a strong open. The Dow futures are pointing towards a strong open, up 200 points or so as when I last looked. But one day is a blip in the market. It's really the longer term story that matters. And I love that saying that Warren Buffett has, markets are stronger than governments. At the end of the day, that's what will, rule the day.
We always turn to the Oracle of Omaha for words of wisdom. We're entering our 10th year of an economic recovery. Is there anything you see on the horizon that worries you about a downturn?
There's not a lot to get nervous about. I mean, it's a stunning time economically. When you look at the jobs numbers, which will continue to be strong, when you look at the wage inflation, which has to be managed, and the Fed is looking at that, inflation overall, but the fact that people are doing better and making more money, that is a really good story. We virtually have full employment in the United States. It's just not something we've seen in a long time. When you talk to individual companies and the CEOs, which I do a lot, they're saying that their businesses are solid. And so there are no giant red flags. I think the thing we have to worry about, the trade skirmish, I won't call it a war, what's going on there, and will the Democrats play into that as well?
In China in particular.
And Mellody, in infrastructure, if by some grace of God there's compromise in Washington between the Democrats and President Trump and an infrastructure plan, which America needs, right? And could
desperately.
The market and businesses would love that too.
They would love it, but I think it's a super long shot because of the deficit. The deficit grew so much because of the tax cut. I think that is going to be a really hard sell, even though these bridges and roads desperately need it. The construction industry would benefit tremendously, and that would ultimately, again, affect everyday people. But I think it's going to be hard to get it done.
All right, Mellody Hobson, thanks so much for being with us.